Here we go. It's good to be back. If you didn't watch my previous video, I'll cue you in. I just came back from a 9-day solo meditation retreat. And we got a lot to talk about. So let's get right into it. This solo meditation retreat, before I fully begin here, I'll give you the basic rules that I gave myself. Basically, I wasn't allowed to use my phone or any technology for that matter. I wasn't there to socialize. I wasn't there to just like kind of listen to music, relax, smoke weed or whatever. No. So there were no drugs involved either. It was a purely sober experience. I sobered up from everything basically of reality except for some basic foods. But even for foods, I actually ended up following a plant-based diet for the course of this week and a half, which turned out to be very nice, very good. And yeah, let me think if there was any other rules. I didn't actually even write much. I did a bit of writing, but I basically gave myself the rule of not spending too much time writing down my thoughts, because that wasn't the idea either here on this retreat. So, that being said, what did I get out of this experience? What was I doing? I was meditating for 9 to 10 hours every single day. And I was primarily using the technique of neti neti method, neti neti meditation, which is a technique it's a form of self-inquiry where we question our true nature. And the aim of it is to slowly deconstruct your self-identity, your self-image, and then arrive at a state of understanding of who you really are existentially. And so that was the primary technique I was using. It wasn't the only one. I was also doing a bit of mindfulness meditation here and there. I did some mindful walks, did some very light stretching and some exercise, which also turned out to be a very good decision. I recommend if you're on a solo retreat. I know some of the group retreats, like the Vipassana retreats, don't actually even allow you to exercise there properly. I think that's a shame, because you actually, your mind, it does very good for your mind to do some exercises, even if it's just some light push-ups and some stretching and maybe taking some walks. So if you're on a solo retreat, I recommend you do some exercise. So yeah, that's basically what my average day would look like at this retreat. What I did was, I woke up, I went out of my cabin, and I just relaxed for a bit in the sun. Thankfully, the weather was very good while I was there. I would do some stretching, do some light exercises, movement, just kind of mobility exercises to get my body wakeful. And after that, I would head back inside and start my yoga routine, which is actually something I forgot to mention. I was also using my yoga routine, which is not the kind of hatha yoga that Westerners are familiar with. This is a form of it's Kriya yoga, which is a form of Kundalini yoga, I believe, and the purpose of that is to awaken Kundalini energy within you and ultimately awaken you, which is the goal here. That's what we're doing this for. So yeah, I was using that, and that turned out to be fantastic. And so I did that every morning, did that for about an hour and a half, and then I would meditate for about half an hour to an hour, and after that I would have breakfast. And my breakfast generally was just porridge and some fruit. That was the basic breakfast. And after that, I would just spend my day doing meditations, taking little breaks, doing meditations, taking a little lunch break, more meditation. And that's how the retreat basically unfolded. Now, you might be asking, okay, this sounds all well and good, but why the hell would you do that? What's the point? Like, why would you go on a retreat to do nothing but meditation for 9 days or longer? Excuse me. Well, there's actually a point. It's not like I just did this out of pure amusement to just try it out. There's actually a reason behind it. There's a purpose involved. And if you watched the previous video, you might already have an idea of what it is. But for me, the purpose of this retreat was to gain clarity into my true nature, gain clarity into how my mind works and operates, and how I can manage my mind instead of letting my mind manage me. And overall, it's just to allow myself, train myself to be in equanimity throughout my daily life. Yeah, that's the gist. That's why I did it, and I think it served very well. So let's get into some of the insights. I have a whole notebook here, not full, but there's a lot in here that I want to share with you that I think could be very beneficial for you. Stuff I learned, stuff I became conscious of, and stuff and tips or, advice I would give for someone who is taking these retreats or who's planning to maybe take one of these retreats for themselves in the future. So, a very, very important insight that I learned, and that is probably one of the biggest takeaways I got from this, was I got a profound sense, a profound urge to begin dropping the roles that I'm playing in my life. Now, I've known this conceptually before. I've known that, you don't have to constantly try and act like something, or whatever, be something and this, but this urge, really, I felt it this time for the first time in my life properly, is that I need to start dropping the roles that I play. And so, we all go through life, with these roles that we play, like I am this person and I want to be seen like this because this is who I am, and I hope everyone sees me like this, because if people don't see me like this, then yikes, that's my whole life, and it's gonna be bad. So please look at me like I think I am. I hope you think I think who you think I am, whatever. And so it creates all this anxiousness, anxiety, and it's problematic because it ruins your state of equanimity. It ruins your ability to be at ease and just live in a state of effortlessness, which is truly our true nature. This is how we ought to live. This is how humans ought to live. But because we have this whole inner thing going, it's tricky, and it makes it very, very difficult and arduous. So yeah, dropping the roles that I play, that was a big insight. Very big. And an insight dovetailing this one is just, I got a profound urge to just be more authentic and honest and overall vulnerable with all the people around me, basically, and you included, of course. You watching here, I want to be more honest and authentic with you, increasingly honest and authentic. This has always been a value of mine, but I wish to take it to the next level, take it even further, and just be very brutally honest and authentic. Authentic. That's something that really struck a chord in me this retreat. Authenticity. What else? Let's see. These retreats, I came to realize, really help you learn to love yourself. They help you learn to see your own beauty in a way that you didn't see before. I don't mean physical beauty, although of course that does also get enhanced, that you will see yourself as more beautiful physically, but more importantly, you will see your true beauty, the beauty that is within you. That's what you begin to witness more. And this is a very beautiful thing. This is a very, very encouraging and blissful thing, is to learn to see yourself as beautiful and as perfect and as, utterly perfect, just the way you are. Because of course, when you're on these retreats, you got nothing else but yourself. So you gotta face yourself. You gotta be with yourself. And so in doing so, you actually develop a better relationship with yourself. And you learn to love yourself. So this is the real beauty of these retreats. Self-love is important. We all know that, but how many of us are actually, truly, authentically, really loving ourselves? Unconditionally. Very few people. Which should be a kind of a reminder to work on that. Of course, with self-love, I realized there must also be self-trust. Without self-trust, we cannot truly love ourselves. So self-trust means to trust yourself, trust your own intuitions and your own values and motives in life. If you trust yourself, that will be great for your self-love. So I realize those two go hand in hand. On one of the days in particular, day 5, was particularly difficult for me. There was so much thoughts, so many thoughts. I was, my mind was going crazy. It felt like there was a Super Bowl in my mind. It was bouncing all around, trying to it was really ridiculously difficult to maintain a state of mindfulness. And so, but even on these days, there were points where I kind of melted into the moment. And despite there being a lot of mind noise, I was able to observe it from a different perspective and just look at it, as the observer, rather than the thoughts themselves. Because typically what we do is we identify ourselves with our thoughts. We actually identify ourselves with our thoughts. This is a very key insight here. That we actually believe we are thoughts. As ridiculous as that sounds. We also believe we are the body. We also believe we are emotions. We also believe we are self-images. And we also believe some people believe they are items, external items. As funny as this sounds, but that is actually the truth, which was something I also kind of awakened to. which is super, super interesting to me. Like, I was contemplating who I am. And so neti neti, the meditation I was using, the technique, what it does is it seeks to negate everything that you are not. And so that you're able to arrive in that place that you are, okay? You are able to see your true nature when you strip away everything that you are not. So neti neti means not this, not that. And so what you're doing is you're looking into your experience and you're observing things. You're observing your body, and you see that, you know what, the body is here, but I'm aware of the body. And if I'm brutally honest, the body is not always here. For example, when I'm dreaming, when I'm sleeping, I don't experience the body. Therefore, I must not be the body. And so you can dismiss your body. Then you can go into your thoughts, and you can look at your thoughts. Am I my thoughts? Again, you can see that you are the one observing the thoughts. You're not necessarily the thoughts. And furthermore, those thoughts are not always there. And you still exist. So you must not be the thoughts either. And so this is the process that neti neti meditation is all about. And it really just opened my eyes to the fact that, whoa, I am just constantly attached to my thoughts. Like, I am literally identified with my thoughts. I believe I'm thoughts. How crazy is that? And everyone else believes their thoughts. My mom believes she's her thoughts. You know, my friends believe that they're their thoughts. Everyone believes that they're their thoughts. What is this madness? Why does this even exist? Like, what does this thing happen? So this is interesting, very interesting to me. And yeah, when I actually began to detach myself from my thoughts and just, you know, go into the observer mode, I would feel myself slipping into this kind of bottomless void, this emptiness, this utter emptiness that was just blissful by its nature. There was just nothing. It was just nothingness. And, you know, interestingly, I was able to access these states on a daily basis. My meditations were significantly deeper than they were last year's retreats. And I suspect that the reason for that to be one is the Kriya Yoga that I've been doing. I've recently upgraded the Kriya routine so it's even more potent and powerful now. And the other thing is just another year has gone by. I've been meditating every single day pretty much. So I've just become more conscious. And that's just the truth. Because I can tell, and that's very empowering to notice that you actually see improvements. I have actually improved with my concentration and with my mindfulness. It's a very empowering thing. If you're doing personal development, if you're doing spiritual work, which maybe if you're watching this, then you probably are to some extent, if you're interested in the content that I'm sharing. If you're listening to teachers or gurus or whatever, if you're reading books, if you're taking psychedelics, then all of these things are giving you information and insight, right? If you take a psychedelic, you're going to get some insights. It's almost inevitable if you take that. But what people often have a problem with the psychedelics is that they take it, they have these amazing experiences, they have this peak, and then they drop down. They drop down and they're back to square one, basically. You know, sometimes some minor improvements happen in their life, but basically they come back to normal. to their baseline. And that's to be expected. But what these retreats will help you do is they will help you crystallize and then embody the insights that you have on psychedelics, or the insights that you get from teachers, or from books, or from wherever, you know. These retreats will help you definitely help you embody the stuff you learn, so that you actually start to live it instead of just kind of think about it in your head and maybe talk about it. And when you live it, that's when the real transformation occurs. That's what we're doing the work for, is to be able to live it. It's not about learning about it, like reading a book, learning about it in your head and just being like, oh, that's a cool idea, that's a cool philosophy, but not doing anything about it. No, it's about digesting the book, picking out the things that resonate with you, and then going out and actually applying it in your life so that you embody it to the point that other people will be able to see that, and they will be able to, whoa, okay, this dude has embodied what he talks about. He has embodied what he's learning, and that's true transformation. But that of course takes work. It takes more work than just reading a book. It takes more work than just popping a fucking tab of acid on your tongue and enjoying the 12-hour trip. You know, it takes a lot of work. But you know, the time will pass anyway. You're gonna be spending time on Earth, so you might as well use it and grow and reach your fullest potential and live a profound life. Isn't that the whole point? To me, it's like I could never ever live without the mindset of growth. It's just like it's not gonna occur, because it's like I have such a thirst to grow myself that even though I don't care how much work it's going to take, it's like it's inevitable. I am going to embody my highest self. It's just, that's my purpose at the end of the day. And then to help others embody their highest selves. So another insight I had was that detoxifying yourself from technology on a regular basis is very important and vital for you to live the good life. Technology, as great as it is limiting your potential by a huge long shot, okay? It is killing your creativity, it's killing your ability to be present, it's killing your ability to connect with other human beings. And although technology in itself is not bad, it's just the way we use it is very immature. Because the thing is, technology is so new, like phones, social media, the internet. It's all very new. And so we haven't really, as a species yet, we haven't learned how to use it constructively. We haven't learned how to use it in a proper fashion, in a proper way. I noticed this last year. Like I had this insight last summer on my retreat, which I talked about it on the previous video, but you know, again, it just came to me. This is the truth, because I feel so much more creative generally when I was on this retreat. I was feeling so creative, so many ideas spinning in my head, all kinds of cool stuff, which I didn't get when I was, on my phone all day. So yeah, detoxifying yourself from the technology is extremely important. Another insight. It's my responsibility, completely my responsibility, to be the best version of myself as much as possible around, all people who I hang out with and be with. It's my responsibility. I must embody what I preach. I must embody more of what I live for, what I value, truly, so that my actions speak as the words, right? I am the product at the end of the day. You are your product. You are the product. You watching the video, you are the product. You are literally, here's the thing, you are literally contributing to human evolution as we speak. Right now, you are contributing to human evolution. You are a human being. First of all, imagine how goddamn rare that is. Now notice that you are directly responsible for human evolution. You. And so, it's your job to evolve yourself. And in so also evolve humanity itself. Also felt a desire to be more generous towards others. Just to be more giving, ask for less, give more. Of course, I knew this before, but this actually became more of a reality for me this time around. So this is what the retreats do, is like, you think that you know this stuff. You think that, oh yeah, I should be more kind, I should be more loving. Yeah, sure. I get it. I know I should be more. So what, you know, but the retreat, what it does is it gives you the experience of it, so that actually it becomes a reality rather than just a thought in your head. So that's the thing. That's what the retreats do. I also felt I feel an urge to be more spontaneous and more playful. I've been a bit too serious in the past, and I have recognized this now, and I feel transition from being this serious person to being a little more playful and spontaneous, just kind of moving my body and just kind of being myself, basically. More. That's it, being myself more. Again, it's all about being yourself. And I also felt increasing desire to be more present around all living beings. Just being present and really showing another being that I am there with them and I am hearing what they hear, but not only hearing what they hear, but more importantly, feeling what they feel, you know, and I'm really there with them, present in the moment. And lastly, I just noticed that life really, at the end of the day, it's all about being. It's all about being. That's where the deepest joy and the most fulfillment comes from. It's from just being, literally. And that's so paradoxical, because everyone's running around chasing all this other stuff out there, when true happiness is literally found just by being. And of course, once you realize that, then doing everything else becomes a whole lot easier and more effortless and just more enjoyable, because you're already internally satisfied. So when you go out and pursue a relationship, or you go out and try to make money or whatever, and make a living, it's all a whole lot easier because you're already happy. And so you're not depending that this thing will give you happiness. You're not depending that, oh, I hope this relationship is going to give me happiness, because you're already happy. And that's a really great thing. That's how you have amazing relationships like that. That's the way you do it. Same thing for making a living. If you go in with the mindset of, oh, I need to make money, I need to survive with this making a living and blah, 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 which is of course what you're doing, of course. But if you're thinking that this is going to make you happy in some way, that this is somehow going to make you complete, then you're gonna be shocked to find that's not what happens. That's not the case. You actually don't find completion with anything external. You have to find it in your inner experience. So approaching your career with the mindset of, hey, I'm already perfect. I'm already complete and I'm already happy, completely, unconditionally. Then the career, or working on your career, it'll be a fun and amazing process. You'll just be doing it out of pure love, really. There's no more ego getting in the way, like, oh, I need to do this, I need to survive, give me that money, give me that fame, give me something I want, I need the juice out of life, I'm dying, I need juice, give me the career. No, you already have all the juice you want. And career is not, it can be icing on the cake at this point. All the external stuff, it's icing on the cake. That's what it is. So, that was the last insight. I think it's a good way to wrap this video up, is just to remind yourself that at the end of the day, it's all about being. And the more you can experience that to be truth, the more you can embody that, the more profound and fulfilling your life will be. And hey, a good way to do this is to go on a retreat, or something else for that matter. Anything that you feel drawn to, that strives for the same thing. Oh hey, I actually forgot to mention that the retreat was actually not completely solo. I did on the 8th day get some guests. There was a small meditation group that came to the cabin that I was staying at, and the retreat cabin owner was actually not, she hadn't noticed that she'd accidentally booked 2 things on top of each other. So my retreat and then their mini retreat was put on top of each other. And so she sent me a message, the retreat owner sent me a message a couple weeks prior to the retreat beginning, and she said, oh, is it okay if this group comes in on the 8th day and you can meditate with them, they're pretty cool. And so I was like, yeah, you know what, that's cool, that's fine. And so that actually turned out to be an amazing experience. Getting to meditate with a group for a day was actually ideal. It crystallized a lot of what I was a lot of the practice that I was doing prior. So there was a group of 5 people, and then there was a meditation teacher who was there leading the retreat, and I could tell that he was quite experienced, more experienced than I was in meditation, and so I let him guide and facilitate my meditations, and it was amazing. It was really awesome. It was very potent to meditate with a group, to say the least. Very different. You could feel a different energy, but I was very glad at the end that this coincidence happened. He was a sort of I don't know, I guess it was meant to be, but it was super, super worth it. And I also got to meet a lot of cool people, and I got to hear about this group, meditation group, and they're actually situated in Helsinki, so I might go visit them later. So that's really cool. I'm happy that that turned out the way it did. Alright, that's the whole video. Hope you enjoyed it. It's good to be back. I'll be making more videos here in the near future. It's summertime. I wish I was outside right now, but unfortunately there's a lot of planes out there at this moment, so it's quite loud. And I didn't feel like making a video out there because of that. But it's a beautiful day. It's like 21 degrees out there. It's perfect warmth. And the sun is out. And I'm going to go enjoy it right now for a bit. So, I'll see you very soon. Take care.